Hey, what's up, y'all? What up, what up, what up? Yo, this is Mark with the Mark Digital Live Podcast. Today I came across something that I thought was pretty funny. And so it turns out all of our crypto kind of conspiracy theorists out here, seems like they got a +1 on their scorecard right now. It turns out that the American government is just as afraid of cryptocurrency as we thought they were. And they have, there's this report here in Forbes that basically says the title is, this is no cap. This is not me exaggerating. This is not me being extra. This is not me being CT Mark, conspiracy theory Mark. I'm not in that bag today. This is real shit. It turns out that the government legitimately tried to shut down Bitcoin. We have an article that's written here by a contributor by the name of Billy Bambro. I guess that's his name. And, it turned out that he had the chance to speak to a highly respected federal prosecutor turned Bitcoin and cryptocurrency expert who goes by the name of Katie Haun. And, back in 2012, she was asked to look into shutting down Bitcoin. It turns out that this all came from her boss, who at the U.S. Attorney's Office, and it turns out it wasn't just her boss who wanted her to shut it down, and also other people who work with her, other colleagues, and who also were a part of the U.S. government and were a part of the U.S. Attorney's Office, wanted her to get Bitcoin out the motherfucking paint. And it turns out, Han didn't know much about crypto when she joined the job. So I guess, 2012 was pretty early on. I think, that was kind of like before a lot of people really jumped onto crypto. So, that totally makes sense. But I mean, as soon as Katie Haun started to learn about this shit, basically, she was like, yo, first of all, this is impossible. It doesn't even make sense to do some shit like this. You can't just shut down a whole fucking currency. Can't do that. Thankfully, Katie Haun understood that. And it's kind of wild. The whole funny thing about this whole idea of the U.S. government and the U.S. Attorney's Office asking Katie to do this shit was that now she's a huge fucking crypto expert, and she's working for Andreessen Horowitz and specifically working on their like cryptocurrency investments. And it's just like, oh, okay, great. I think she's working on Facebook's Libra coin. I'm pretty sure she's working on that. So basically the government created a sort of crypto activist. Granted, I would say the other thing that Katie was a part of that I find pretty interesting is Coinbase. So Katie's been a part of both Coinbase and Libra. And so, all my niggas who are like deep in the crypto world are probably like fucking pissed off and like just like those are the two things that like nobody fucks with, right? So it's like, what the fuck you gonna do about that? She's just not like the type of person you necessarily want to listen to, I guess, when it comes to the actual type of ideas of what cryptocurrency are supposed to be when they come to things like freedom, and actual real encryption and protection. But I do think it's interesting that essentially she's coming out and just saying like, yo, you're right. You crypto conspiracy theorists are right. The government hates Bitcoin, and the government since the beginning was trying to shut it down. I don't know what this is going to mean for the future of Bitcoin. I mean, it does seem like she got through to the system, and she got through to her bosses and, made it clear that this can't really go down. At one point in the article, she says, quote, that it would have been akin to saying, let's go persecute cash. And, I agree with that. How can you go out? You can't just end something like that. And when you do, it has a dramatically devastating, if we've seen with the way that, even somewhere like India has just tried to shut down just a small part of their currencies or take some certain bills out of circulation. These sort of things just can't just happen, with ease. So, I think, I think it's just really, really super interesting. I'm not surprised that someone who has connections at the U.S. government is working so closely and is on the board of things such as of Coinbase and of Libra. I do think that, the more that we learn about who's involved with projects like Libra, the less attractive that becomes. The more people learn about who's involved over at a place like Coinbase, that also tends to make people feel a little bit like their security is at risk, right? So if we have somebody who is at Libra, who also was a part of the U.S. government, and we also don't support Facebook, has just a lot of issues when it comes to privacy and security. I just think it's super interesting that all these things are wrapped up. And if anything is going to kind of be a little spark or a little, drop in the water that's just going to spread and kind of create a slow kind of trickle and viralness, I think it is this article. And I think it's just this statement that, straight up, we have an issue, yo. We just have a situation where, people who we wouldn't necessarily deem as super trustworthy and, people who are just honestly kind of doing some pretty shady shit, even when it comes down to the government, are now kind of involved in cryptocurrency, but I don't know, on the other side, also trying to make money from it. I just think it's kind of weird, and I get it. It seems like Katie Haun has become a strong kind of expert. Someone who spent a lot of time looking into these things. I totally get that, and I'm sure that their connections within politics make it way easier to get certain things through or to make certain things happen. But I just feel like for those of us who are involved with crypto for freedom purposes, that this shit it just doesn't make us feel any more comfortable with something like Coinbase or Libra, nor does it make us feel more comfortable with the government. So I do not think that was the purpose of this article. The writer definitely was not linking Libra or Coinbase to, the government and trying to shut down Bitcoin. And I'm definitely not saying that. I don't want anybody to get confused about that. But I just think it's wild that the person who's even coming out and saying this, is saying this, but also is tied in with a lot of things in crypto that aren't necessarily living up to the highest potential when it comes to privacy, encryption, and just really kind of the most beneficial parts to the individual when it comes to crypto. But on a systematic level, she's killing it, doing her thing, definitely flipped the job with the U.S. government into some nice private cash. I'm sure those boards are paying very handsomely. So, shouts out to Katie Haun, though, for telling the truth and for coming out with this story and just, confirming something that we thought for a long time. The U.S. government is not fucking with Bitcoin at all. The U.S. government if they're not fucking with Bitcoin, they're not fucking with anything crypto. And even whatever. Trump has attacked Bitcoin. Trump has attacked Libra. He called them unregulated crypto assets, which is wild. That's coming from somebody who hasn't released his taxes, but whatever, right? You know what I'm saying? At this point, it really doesn't matter. You got fucking, we're talking about oligarchs coming at fucking, what I'm saying, the richest people in the world. And, at this point, that's all a game that they can play. And honestly, I believe all this shit's for show anyway. I think the only real thing that's coming out in this story at the end of the day is the fact that we just know for sure, for a fact. And that's if you believe Katie. Granted, we have no reason to believe some shit just because it appears in fucking Forbes, right? I don't necessarily believe that. There's no reason for me to just take the fact that something's in Forbes. That means that it's true. All these publications print stuff and then have to fucking retract that shit all the time. So if you believe Katie and you believe Forbes, which in this case I do, I don't see why she would have any benefit in making some shit up about this. There's just no reason to, especially when I imagine that she's going to get some sort of shit from the government for this. Maybe the statute on just even talking about these things are up, but it seems like in these days where everything comes down to whistleblowing, not whistleblowing, that this whole situation has to be, I don't know, in some sort of weird no man's land of whatever this shit's supposed to mean. So whatever. Shouts out to Katie. Thank you for your work. I appreciate you just kind of telling us how it is and being real with that. Yeah, I would love to hear what more people from the cryptocurrency community think. This article seems to set her up as somebody who's trustworthy, but yeah, I don't know. So I would love to see if that's true. But I have a feeling when people look at just kind of the other things that she's associated with, that this statement will have a little bit of trouble kind of like getting out ahead. And I mean, even if this story is confirmed, I don't think anyone's going to necessarily look at Katie as some sort of crypto hero, simply because of the other things that she's tied to, not really necessarily being like the dopest, most progressive parts of cryptocurrency and these worlds that are happening. So that's my take on that. I'm going to follow this story closely. If more things come up, we'll talk about it on the show. This might be something that we have John on to talk about. I'd love to hear what he thinks about Katie Haun and the story and this confirmation that that the government really is against Bitcoin. For those of you who are in the Discord, just know that you could also find this article in the cryptocurrency text channel. So I posted it the other day, and we were just talking about the price of Bitcoin, and a lot of us in the Discord, we were just hoping that this price drops. We were hoping that it would go below 7.5. The way it's been holding on strong, and with stories like this, I don't know. I mean, if it just drops below 8 for a good amount of time, I might just hop on it, just cop a little, just because. I think if more stories like this come out, it's going to be really hard for Bitcoin to drop, because people are talking about how we're rolling into a recession. A lot of people are really worried that we're going to have a really, really big, potentially economic crash or a really strong slowdown. If either of those things happen while we have this narrative out that, the government also tried to shut down Bitcoin, and that the government is afraid of Bitcoin while the American economy is in a recession. I think that that's going to create a really, really strong environment around Bitcoin. And I'm specifically saying, be like Bitcoin, not Bitcoin Cash. I think Bitcoin Cash will be strong as well, but I hope that it doesn't go too wild, and that people can actually start to use cryptocurrencies as currencies. But we'll see. I'm not making any predictions, but I personally feel that it's going to be really hard for us to see prices below 7,000 if stories keep coming out that show that there's real fear behind this technology, and that this technology is actually putting pressure on governments. That's pretty much like ideally what we would want this shit to do. So I fuck with it. I mean, I'm pretty much excited anytime the government starts to get a little scared and that they start to act a little shook, because that usually means really something that's going to really be beneficial and powerful, I think, for those of us who are trying to kind of live more independently and outside of the typical system. So I'm fucking with it. Let's see how this goes. One of the other things that I've kind of when I was reading Twitter and coming across stuff, an artist who we're really close to at Folk Zine. He's collaborated with us in different ways. We've had him at a lot of really dope events that we've done, especially in New York City. He's a rapper that goes by the name of Cakes the Killa. Following Cakes is fun because he's always tweeting or posting some like wild shit on Instagram where he's just like straight up like living his best fucking life. I mean, like Cakes is a wild one. He's a rapper. He's a queer rapper. I think a lot of people who might not be kind of familiar with queer rappers, Cakes is still kind of, I think in a lot of ways, even like expanding from that scene. I think that he definitely reps it to the core. He's a lyricist. He be rapping on crazy beats, and has really kind of like I kind of think about him like even akin to like the hip hop kind of like ball scene. Like I think he really represents like a lot of voguing cultures. I know that he's even associated with like creatives and high artists such as like people like Rashad Newsom, who are also interested in voguing as like an art medium and stuff like that. So Cakes is doing a lot of dope stuff, and Cakes is an artist who has who I have a lot of respect for. for a lot of different reasons, for the way that he presents himself, for his bars, for his flow, all that shit. And I just like what he's doing. And it turns out that he's on this new show that's out now on Netflix called Rhythm and Flow. It's I don't know. I mean, to keep it real with you, it's definitely like a reality show. It reminds me, it feels like America's answer to the show called Rap in China. Rap in China is this show that got like super popular in China. That's like this rap elimination game show that has judges. They compete with each other and shit like that. I only watched a couple of episodes of this show, Rhythm and Flow, because I was really watching it for Cakes the Killa. The only reason why I even found out about this show personally so early was because Cakes the Killa's timeline, since I follow him, he was just retweeting and commenting to people who were talking about him appearing on the show. So I was like, oh shit, this nigga Cakes is on a fucking Netflix show. Like I gotta hear this shit. And I gotta see this shit. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of did the thing where I saw the episode that he was on and I immediately went like right to that one. So I don't know if they've kind of progressed to other levels. I can't even break down what this show's totally like. I don't have any extra information. One, I don't know if this shit's already done recording. It seemed like I know that some of this shit was filmed a while ago because Nipsey Hussle is in the first episode. So like that shit was kind of wild. I was like, oh, okay, like this shit is definitely kind of old, and they make a reference to that. They kind of say like, oh, this was like one of the last times that T.I. was able to see Nipsey Hussle was when he pulled up on him. In general, yo. I don't know, man. I'm just not a big fan of the show itself. I think it's kind of like, it's just kind of corny. Y'all know I don't really fuck with like Chance the Rapper like that. So he's in it. He's acting like a cornball the whole time. T.I. is cool. T.I. is just being T.I. on there. Cardi B's on there. You know, she's being Cardi. I know that people love her. You know what I'm saying? She's mad lovable and shit. But you know, them niggas is just cooning on there and shit. Like, I don't think, it's definitely not something that you would be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like, it's okay if you don't watch it. It's okay if you miss it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if Cakes the Killa wasn't involved, I'm not sure that I would be necessarily like that hyped to peep the show. And I definitely am not going to be like keeping up with that shit weekly. If Cakes makes it to like the finals or some shit, then maybe I'll peep that. I would love to see him win. The bag is like $250K. I would love to see that nigga get $250K because I can't imagine what this nigga Instagram is going to look like if that nigga gets $250K. I feel like he might Cameron the shit. You know what I'm saying? He might straight Cameron and pull up in the all pink Range or some shit. I would love to fucking see it. I would love to see what type of ice this nigga would get customized from fucking Ben Baller and Johnny Dang. I want to see it, man. I want to see that nigga win just because I feel like that shit would just be on some whole other next level stunting if this nigga won. So honestly, listening to this shit, I wasn't that super impressed with anybody else. I listened to the whole first episode. It was when they was in LA judging this shit. That shit was so fucking corny, man. That shit was just, I don't think I was impressed by anybody. And honestly, yo, to keep it real, he knows this. All of his fans know this. Cakes is way too dope to be on that show. And it's wild to see it because when Cakes the Killa finished rapping, I don't know, like Jadakiss and fucking Fat Joe, they were the ones who were judging his episode. And even Cardi B, like, they kind of slept on him a little bit. Like, I felt like they kind of was like, they made a reference to, him potentially being like the first gay rapper and stuff like that. And that was just ridiculous. Like, I don't understand how Cardi B, who isn't a lot of times, it feels like to me, sort of held up as this like, like kind of like a queer icon. And she doesn't even know apparently about people like Leaf or, like even people like Mickey Blanco. I don't know. That shit just, to me, that seems a little funny. I feel like Cardi B has to address that shit because, I don't know, I just see a lot of people in the queer community really fuck with her, and it just seems like she's not showing that love back. And that's just not going to be a good look. If anything, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I couldn't imagine somebody like Nicki Minaj or somebody like Lil' Kim or fuck, probably even Meg Thee Stallion. Like, I just feel like they probably know about like Leaf or Mickey Blanco's existence. So I think that that's strange. To me, it was weird that they're positioning Cakes like what he's doing is going to be totally brand new. That's not to say that Cakes, repping queer culture the way that he does is easy in hip hop. I'm not saying that. And I'm also not saying that what he's doing isn't significant. It's mad significant. But it's also happening simultaneously. Like, he's part of a movement. And yeah, he's definitely like one of the artists on the forefront of that, like, for sure. But to act like it's just him, I think is disrespectful to him. I think it's disrespectful to the other people who are his peers, and to the other, all these people like Leaf, Mickey Blanco, Cakes. Their bars are better than like probably 90% of rappers out here. And that's probably me being kind to a lot of fucking rappers, especially people who are active and who are making dope shit like all the time. So I don't know, man. Like, I just feel like he, I get it. A lot of people, a lot of his fans doing this. Like, you shouldn't be on there. Somebody said some real shit. Somebody was like, yo, Cakes the Killer being on this shit is like Kaya being on a female rap show. And I wouldn't even say Cakes the Killer is like the male equivalent of Kaya. Like, I think there's no disrespect to Kaya, but like, Cake's catalog is mad deep. Like, that nigga got mad fire tracks. And I just think that, like, his fans, some of his fans are confused by it because, he doesn't necessarily need to be discovered in the way that everybody else was on the show. Like, everybody else was on the show. Nobody heard of none of these niggas. These niggas don't know how to dress. These niggas don't know how to present themselves. They don't even know how to create a dope ass, like following around them, social media presence around them. They don't really know how to, I think, get in that bag the same way that Cakes does. And so it's just mad obvious off rip. Like, after he performed, I stopped watching the shit. Like, I should probably finish his episode just to finish it, but I wasn't interested because I had watched like an hour and a half of it, and he gets on, he raps, he kills this shit. And then after that, it's like, this is the best shit that happened the whole time. The beat was the illest. His flow was the crazy. What he was spitting was the craziest. And then, you know what I'm saying? Like, the crazy thing, after he finished, you got fucking, like, Jadakiss doing the sign of the cross. This shit was disgusting to me, y'all. Like, why are he doing the sign of the cross just because, like, a gay nigga rapped? Come on, Jada. You be saying the most fucked up shit. Yo, Jada be saying the craziest fucking bars, yo. Like, come on, son. On the track, like, Show Discipline with Nas, these niggas be talking about, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, throwing niggas off a balcony, throwing niggas off of windows and shit, man. Come on, son. Jada be talking about the craziest shit. Jada has a skit, all right, on the album, oh man, which album is it? Fuck, oh man, hold on. I'm gonna have to look this up because I'm gonna find it so quickly. Yes, the Kiss the Game Goodbye album. I remember, how old was I when I caught this shit? When this shit dropped, 2001, right? So, boom. I was like 10 or 11 when this shit dropped. You know what I'm saying? Yo, one of my favorite albums at the time. First of all, I'm a Jadakiss fan. I gotta say that with all due respect. I'm about to flame this nigga for his homophobia, but I'm a big Jadakiss fan. Jadakiss is one of my favorite rappers ever, right? This whole Jadakiss songs I could rap word for word, and not even, of course, We Gonna Make It, Knock Yourself Out, shit like that. But I mean, like, other mixtape tracks, like, that's just like whatever, 40 bars of terror, like all that shit. I can spit that shit verbatim. But this nigga, man, on Kiss the Game Goodbye, he has a whole skit called Stick Yourself. You know what I'm saying? And really, it's about a nigga having to stab himself. That's what it's about. It's about him and his homies making a nigga fucking stab himself. And yo, when I was young, I can't even front, son, because y'all should really listen to this skit, because when I was young, yo, I used to think that the nigga who stabbing himself was stabbing himself in the asshole. Listen to the way that the nigga screams in pain when he starts stabbing himself. I was like, bro, are they making this nigga shove some shit up his ass? So that goes to tell you right there, Jada, you not as far from any of this world that you think you are, fam. Like, you are saying shit that could be misconstrued in all types of ways sexually, all types of ways violently. So for you to be doing the sign of the cross when you have skits on your album that essentially are niggas stabbing themselves in their fucking ass, right? Because they owe you money, because they disrespected the LOX, because they crossed the line with D-Block. Come on, son. That's wild, B. That shit was mad inappropriate. And, fuck whoever edited that shit too. You didn't have to include that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just making everybody look crazy. And that's the type of bullshit where they be like, yo, black men are toxic. That's the type of shit that makes people think that straight black men are toxic. Because when you react like that to just just a gay nigga rapping, yo, this shit can't go nowhere. Fat Joe was afraid to say that he just fucked with the bars. My nigga was like, oh, I'm conflicted. This nigga was just purely conflicted because Cakes was openly like rapping about gay shit. That shit is like, yo, son, this is not the time to be like this, yo. This is not the time in the rap game to be the nigga who cannot handle just hearing this shit, yo. Niggas hearing the nastiest shit all day right now. Right? Niggas just rapping about whatever the fuck they want to rap about. And you can't take that. And that my nigga Cakes the Killer was not even being explicit. Like niggas would be way more explicit. You listen to the average fucking Meg Thee Stallion song, you're gonna get some shit that's way more explicit. You listen to some shit about a baby, you're gonna hear some shit that's way more explicit. Like, come on, fam. Come on, yo. So that's my whole thing, man. I just feel like, oh my God. And here's one more thing. Fucking Cardi B asking Cakes if he was gay. Like, that's the thing. It just makes me feel like we're gonna play this angle on hip hop. We're gonna play the hip hop is homophobic angle to move a storyline along, just to make some shit like be good TV, get good streaming numbers. Come on, like anybody who has any sort of experience with this shit it just knows better. You don't ask somebody if they're gay like that in a room with a bunch of strangers. I mean, yo, listen, in some ways, it doesn't even need to be asked. It doesn't even need to be said. Why are we still on this? Why does the nigga have to come out? And I'm so glad. I saw Cakes is making the best memes out of this. He was like, yo, like he was like, this is my coming out story. And he showed the clip where Cardi B asked him if he was gay. And then he responded with, yeah. That's what he responded with, yeah. The fuck, man? The fuck are we talking about, yo? And yo, shouts out to Chris HK in the Discord. He just said the realest shit. Hip hop is way too old to be on that shit. My man 80K Sinewave. He's like, yo, we letting everybody in. Hip hop today is about letting everybody in. If you could rap, yo, this shit don't make sense, fam. It does not make fucking sense. If you could rap, you a part of this shit. We don't give a fuck if you a drug dealer, if you a drug abuser, if you gay, if you lesbian, if you trans. Every real hip hop fan and every real hip hop head right now, at the core of us, the core niggas I'm talking about, the real people who are going to take this culture forward, we are the most accepting of any difference. We don't even give a fuck if you used to make a different music genre. Whatever the fuck you used to do, like niggas don't even have to be quote unquote real niggas anymore. Niggas could be fucking snitches. People could be fucking liars. We're just accepting this shit now. And if you're not in that wave with this rap shit, just get the fuck out, yo. There's whole rap battle leagues right now. Shouts out to AHAT. It's AHAT. They literally have like trans rappers battling against fucking hood street niggas, right? They got gay rappers battling rappers who identify as straight. They got everything now. Like, if battle rap can accept people with all of these changes and with all of these differences, come on, fam. Then mainstream hip hop should be at least 10 steps ahead of that. Because battle rap is problematic by nature, right? But maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's the fucked up thing about this, right? You have these people now who are celebrities who, you know what I'm saying, like have this idea that they're not problematic or that they're progressive because they don't say anything that's like too offensive. They like, I think this is something that even Cindy Males Are Canceled was talking about. There's certain packaged things that you can say, that you can tweet, that you can share that make you seem woke, right? But actually, it's the people who we're all deeming the most fucking problematic and the ones who say things that are not the most widely accepted who are actually the most accepting when it comes to real nigga shit. And when I say real nigga shit, I'm talking about shit that happens between two people, right? That just comes down to them being human, right? So like, that's what we're talking about. You feel me? We're talking about a situation where battle rappers who get in front of each other and will say the most disrespectful shit to each other, right? Will use the most disrespectful, inflammatory terms they can possible. But guess what? These niggas is making money together. And these niggas is agreeing that, yo, you might be trans, but you have the same level of skill and I'm going to respect you as an opponent. Battle rapping is like boxing. You don't fight against somebody who you don't respect, right? Every battle rapper is inspired by their competition to make a better bar, to make better raps than they were before. So that's how much respect these niggas have for each other, regardless of differences. And now you're telling me that in the mainstream, these niggas is like, yo, I don't know if we can sign this. I don't know if we can have you on a label. I don't know, yo, you're gonna be the first one to make it big. Come on, yo. This shit is insane. Like the mainstream got to get it together. The fact that this show could do that and that they can act like this is, they're setting up this show like they're speaking for hip hop. And that's the other problem with it for me. Like they're setting this shit up like they're the voices of rap. And maybe they are. Maybe this is how the industry looks at gay rappers. And that's so fucked up because the underground is not looking at gay rappers like that. We're not. Like, we're beyond ready to accept. We are accepting. We are. We're bumping this shit, man. We're really, yo, I'm telling you, real street niggas is definitely bumping these gay rappers, yo, because they got bars and they got a different perspective and they saying some real ill shit. And the fact that the mainstream is not catching up to this shit, yo, this is not hip hop. It's not hip hop at all. It's not hip hop to not be accepting of someone else for any fucking reason. Hip hop is about, yo, are you marginalized? Then we want you to rap the most. Whoever's the most marginalized in a community, that's the nigga who's the most hip hop. Actually. You know what I'm saying? That's why rappers accepted and fucking embraced Eminem, because he was a trailer park white boy. And we had never seen some shit like that in rap. We understood in this hip hop shit, he's the most marginalized right now. Niggas tuned their ears and they want to hear that shit and they consumed it. So even to think that, like, yo, we're not going to be able to accept a gay rapper, you don't even understand the real history of hip hop and the way that this shit happened. I mean, you don't understand the contemporary history, but you really don't understand the entire history and the way that this hip hop shit really works. Anytime you say this can't be a rapper, that's who becomes the biggest rapper. This nigga, oh man, this nigga T.I. is a judge on the show. This nigga T.I. signed an Australian white girl. And then wants to act like it's really that much of a stretch to sign a gay nigga from Jersey. The fuck? Like, this is what we doing in hip hop now? And speaking of that, yo, let me just throw this out there, just to throw it out there. For anyone who has Netflix, when you come across the show, I was looking at that shit on my phone. The visual for the show, like the fucking banner image. I hope y'all know what a banner image is. I work in marketing and shit, so I have like these like very like specific terms for these sort of like, you know, marketing assets and shit. But the image that comes up, you know what I'm saying, like the card image or whatever, when you look at when you look at this shit on Netflix, you got Chance, you got T.I., and you got Cardi B. On my shit, here's the fucked up thing. they're serving us different images based on our past feeds. So I don't know if anyone else's image is going to look like mine. You might have a completely different image. If you do, especially at the time when this is recording, sorry, like, I'm not taking a screenshot and sending it because it don't matter. But anyway, the fucking image, right? I thought Cardi B was Iggy Azalea. Like, that's how white she looked in the fucking image. I was like, bro, this shit is crazy. Like, I was like, yo, is Chance, T.I., and Iggy Azalea? I hope Iggy and T.I. made up. I was like, was this part of Iggy's deal? Did she sign with Tip because she signed a 360 deal with Tip so that Tip could put her on the show? You know? My man 80K sign with just said they all high yellow. Yo, there's nothing but light-skinned niggas. It's definitely nothing but light-skinned niggas. Jada Kiss, Fat Joe, Cardi B, even the 3 New York judges, all hella yellow. And it's coming from, I mean, whatever. People call me like, I like to think I'm, other people say differently. I feel like I'm Idris Elba, but that's, that's for me. I'm dark-skinned inside. I feel I'm dark-skinned. You know what I mean? That's how I carry myself. Man. Anyway, I just wanted to throw this out there for rap culture, yo, because one of the things Cake said before he went on is, he was like, I just want to break the stigma, the stereotype that where rap, it seems like, lesbians can rap. Everybody accepts that a lesbian can have bars. But when it comes to a gay nigga, people want to act like we can't rap. People want to act like this is a problem. People want to act like this is scary. And, when he said that, I was like, man, people don't feel like that. This nigga tripping. But then his point was proven right. Like, right there, they proved his point. And that shit, honestly, yo, I can't even front, man. That shit hurts my heart in a way. Like, I'm disappointed that people who have the ability to really change careers and to change lives have any sort of hesitation towards anybody, especially someone who has as much talent as Cakes. Like, anybody who knows rap, if you watch this show, it's obvious that Cakes the Killa is the best. That's why he's the most poppin'. Like, this nigga's already successful. Like, that's why this whole thing is even more disappointing and sad. Like, you cannot say he doesn't have X, Y, or Z because he obviously has it. This nigga tours the world. Like, this nigga actually is kind of playing the show. Like, this nigga's going to get the bag. He deserves the bag. Of course he should win. If he doesn't win, it's going to be obvious that he didn't win because he was gay, just based off the fact that he's already the most poppin'. If this show is about who can sell the most records, who could be the most poppin', who could be the most successful, how you going to be hating on the nigga who's already proven that he could get the most streams, sell the most records, do the most tours? Like, this is why it just shows you, man. Just because a nigga's poppin' doesn't mean that they have a better opinion on hip hop than you do. Just because a nigga's poppin' doesn't mean, or just because they have money doesn't mean that they have more talent or a better ear. Like, period. You really gotta listen to how niggas react to like really dope shit and see if that shit is consistent with the way it should be. Because if it's not, then it's just not. And all of these judges proved with the way that they responded to Cakes the Killa that, yo, man, maybe they really shouldn't even be doing this shit. So that's just my feelings, yo. I thank y'all for being here with me tonight. As y'all know, man, this rap shit is pretty dear to me. You know what I'm saying? And so I just want to make sure that at least as much as I can do, as much as I can represent it, that the world understands that, like, yo, this is not who we are. You know what I'm saying? This is not like what hip hop is to me. This is not the world that I live in hip hop. My hip hop world is one of the most inclusive communities that I could ever imagine. That's part of why I love hip hop, because I love shit where people of different sexualities, people of different genders, and people of different races could come together and be in the same place, and they're all fresh and they're all knowledgeable about art and culture and, about politics, right? Because we know hip hop is inherently political, right? You got street niggas like YG and Nipsey Hussle talking about fuck Donald Trump before he was even elected. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's mainstream. Like, we are a culture that at our best, we take our differences and we use that to show how fresh our perspective is. And we use our differences as advantages and we praise people for those differences. You know what I'm saying? Like what makes Southern hip hop so dope was the Southern accent, was the connection to marching band culture, right? What made West Coast hip hop so dope was the injection of G-Funk, was the West Coast California accent. Like all of these differences are what make us fire. And so to just kind of like try to separate from that and to try to box it into what a rapper should be, that's as soon as you kill the culture. Because this culture is not about that. This, as soon as you say, yo, this is what a rapper is, the exact opposite of that is going to blow up and defy our expectations, right? That's how we went from wearing baggy jeans to skinny jeans. Because as soon as you say it's one thing, it's automatically the exact opposite. That's just a general like law of hip hop. So that's why you say as soon as shit gets super lyrical, right? Then you get some dumb, like, not I want to say dumb, but you get some like some other shit that's totally not lyrical. You get some shit that's like mad fun and playful, right? So like that's what hip hop's about. There's a reason. I'm so glad 80K Signway brought this up in the Discord. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like for with hip hop, you have it makes sense why we have someone like Makami who's active and in the underground and killing the underground the same in the mainstream, right? Who's come out as queer, or someone like exactly that's 80K Signway said, Brockhampton, right? Like you're always gonna have this balance of like this ultra macho lyrical whatever, and then this other stuff that might be a little bit more complex with the way that it sees something like the connections between masculinity and femininity, right? Like all of these things are a balance, and that's what makes hip hop so dope. The yin and the yang, you know what I'm saying? And both of those things come together to make this beautiful culture that we have, especially now with streaming and with downloading. All of these movements exist simultaneously, and if you're not getting in all of these different influences, sorry about that. If you're not getting in all these different influences, then honestly, I feel bad for you. So Cardi B, Jadakiss, Fat Joe, you know, with the exception of Cardi B, Fat Joe, Jadakiss, y'all got classics that I listen to inspired me. But like, I genuinely feel bad for you. I feel bad for you that you're not getting and you cannot connect with these raps from Cakes to Killa. I feel bad for you that you're not taking in the amazing art that Mickey Blanco's doing. I feel bad for you that you never heard Leaf and the crazy shit that he does, just combining electronic, hip hop, techno, all this wild shit. Like, it makes me think, do these niggas look at art? Do they know who made the clothes that they're wearing? Do they? Like, what do they think this is? These niggas be wearing Hood by Air. Do these niggas, like, how can niggas be rocking Hood by Air, but then they wanna like downplay and act like they don't fuck with queer culture? Hood by Air was based off of queer, trans, people of color, that whole culture. That's what it's about. It's about fucking black queer BDSM. That's what they're like BDSM or whatever. I don't even know how to say it, but that's what Hood by Air is about. Hood by Air is about celebrating like hood, queer, like sexual experimentation. So all these niggas just are walking around with HBA hoodies and they're afraid to listen to queer rappers. Like I get it, yo. Rap is definitely about contradictions. But that's a contradiction that's so deep that it's really akin to the way that black people especially, right? And especially when it comes to hip hop, y'all love to cry. Y'all love to cry about cultural appropriation. And that is real cultural appropriation, right? When you take the fashion and you take the style and you take the art, right? Like all of these niggas, they want to rap about, you know, fucking Basquiat. They want to rap about owning herons. You want to art. A lot of those people are queers, fam. So you want to own the art. You want to wear the fashion. but you don't want to listen to the music and you don't want to support those rappers? Come on, y'all. We have to get it together. Like, this can't be what rap represents at all. Because if this is what we become, this is how our culture will not sustain itself. This is how we end up, honestly, just like losing. Like, hip hop has been able to adapt and like constantly. And if we don't get over this fucking issue where we're just not respecting rappers because of their sexuality, we are gonna just like, we're gonna lose this shit. We're gonna lose our dominance on the charts. We're gonna lose our dominance when it comes to streaming. And we would fucking deserve it. And I hope when that happens, that all the black queer rappers that you held out from being a part of the culture, I hope that they go and they make a new genre. Because I promise you, all of your kids and your grandkids, they're going to be bumping that shit and they're going to be making that shit. They're not going to fuck with this rap shit and this hip hop shit if we don't like fuck getting with the times. Hip hop needs to be ahead of the times. We're the ones who are supposed to be the most politically progressive, period. So don't go out there representing us like we're stuck in 92. Can't be this way, yo. Anyway, I thank y'all all for listening. This whole thing has just got me hot. Shouts to Cakes the Killer, though. I really, really, really hope that he brings this shit home and he wins. I'm trying to think about it, yo. I really want to get him on the show. I would love to get him on the show and talk about his experience with Rhythm and Flow. And I would love to learn about like how he got involved, when they filmed those first episodes, so we have an idea of like the timeline with that shit. Wait. Let me just say one more thing, because it just popped up in my head. Cardi B spends a lot of time in Atlanta. You know, her husband's from Atlanta. Yo, like, she's got to know about queer culture better than that, especially queer black culture. Like, come on, Cardi. You out there. There's some fire-ass queer rappers in Atlanta. Like, I went to high school out there and shit. Back then when I went, a decade ago, that shit was like, there was dope-ass queer rappers. So if you don't know about this shit, especially in Atlanta, you are honestly like, you got your fingers in your ears. You just la, 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 la. You don't want to hear this shit. That's the only way this shit could be possible. Like, you're avoiding it, which is wild. You know what I'm saying? Like, wild to think that this is how it's going down. Honestly, Cake should be writing for Cardi. Like, Cakes the Killer would be someone who is perfect to get that bag writing for Cardi B. Anyway, I hope Cakes wins. Like I said, I would love to see Cakes with a $250,000. One of the things I was thinking, and what I would love to talk to him one is I wonder how much taxes they're taking out of that shit. I would really love to know that. Like, how much did he actually come away with? Are they taking a third of that off top? Are they taking half of it? Does it matter what state it's one in? I think they're going back to LA to do it, but is it? I don't know. I don't know why I even care so much about the way that this money's being taxed. But it's really funny to me to think about this Netflix rap money and how this shit's, how the government's gonna, be taking money off that. I don't know, y'all. For anybody who like, this is not even to talk shit. It's not to be extra, but when you start getting a certain amounts, especially when you start like investing in shit and you start getting it back and you start seeing like, you like, oh, I got this show that's lit. And then you start seeing the way the tax money starts coming out that motherfucker. Woo. Especially for my niggas who do shit like independently. Like if you making money like, you know what I'm saying, off the books or whatever. And then like you know what I'm saying? You definitely not getting no refunds. Oh man, I don't know, y'all. I be getting taxed out the ass. So this shit is just, this should be fucking with me, man. And it's like, I'm always thinking about that shit. Like, yo, how is this shit being taxed? So I want to know, yo, cause niggas giving you 6 figures, you getting taxed, my G. I was like, I was talking about it with my wife. I was like, yo, like maybe it's a gift. She was like, nigga, you still gonna get taxed on a gift. Like, it don't matter. It don't matter if it's a gift. Like, the government's gonna get their cheese. And that's facts. Like, the government's gonna make something off this shit. They not gonna let no nigga just rap and be on Netflix and not give him something. Shouts out to Chris HK. All right, he supports me. He said he wants the info too. He wants to know how his taxes are going too. So it's not just me. So Case, once you win, because I'm rooting for you, you know what I'm saying? Like, now I'm out here, man. I want to make, I need everybody black, man. Fuck that shit. I'm rooting for everybody gay, man. I don't care, man. I'm an ally. I support this shit, bro. I'm rooting for this nigga, man. This nigga gotta win. He gotta win. I mean, and if he loses, if he gets kicked off the show, I want to try to have that nigga on the week after that. Because then I can ask him all the questions and shit about how this show works, and whatever fraudulent way that he got kicked off the shit. So I hope that doesn't happen. I hope that this nigga just goes all the way and he wins. And then we can have the conversation about what it's like to win. And we can get into the details of all that shit. And we can talk about how my nigga ran off with the bag on Netflix. So I hope that happens, man. I'm rooting for the nigga. Like I said, I heard the first 2 episodes. I heard LA and New York, and that shit was just not hitting. And I mean, we'll see where this goes, but goddamn, Cakes is 100 times exponentially better than anybody else who hit that stage. Much more well-rounded. The nigga who went before him got his outfit dissed, and then that nigga tried to play. Maybe it was a nigga who went before him. There was a nigga with a checkerboard outfit, checkerboard overalls, and he tried to play Cakes for Cakes boots. And I was like, nigga, Cakes boots, them shits is like, those are high fashion boots, nigga. Like, the other niggas who was back there with him, they had no sauce, they had no style. I'm like, yo, those look like some Louis, like, those shits look like some Margielas. And y'all niggas is playing this nigga like he's not like you, bro. They was like, oh, you gonna get flamed for those shoes. No, he wasn't. That shit was like, this nigga got style. This nigga got taste. This nigga is an actual poppin' dope artist who goes to places like Berlin and who gets fresh and who actually performs for international audiences. He's not like you bum ass rap niggas who just in the back. Like, half of these niggas was crusty as fuck. More than half. All of them. Besides him. Well, I don't know, man. Like I said, I could go on about this forever. Just shouts out to Cakes. Let's get Cakes on the show. I was gonna have him on. The crazy thing is I was gonna have him maybe last week. But things were just going on. I wasn't totally ready to have guests yet. I mean, we had some guests before that, but I was trying to really master this shit. Before I expanded it outside of my close circle of friends and the homies. So I didn't want to, I didn't want to necessarily start with him. I didn't want to just do that. I wanted to kind of give that a moment and really start to perfect it. Then we figured out how to do it. We got it down. And so now I'm glad I waited because now I'm like, bruh, I would have known about this shit. I would have known to ask him. And if he would have just brought it up, oh, I got some shit coming out soon. You might see me on Netflix. I would have been hyped, but I'm so much happier that we have the opportunity to actually just talk to him about this show now and actually to be like, Cakes, what the fuck? How did you even find out about it? I didn't see it online. I want to know how he found out. Put him on to this shit. I want to know every fucking thing. I want to know details. I was listening to the music. It seems like there's no samples. All the beats have no samples. I want to know if they told him, yo, y'all can't have sampled shit. I don't know. Maybe there's going to be a challenge with samples later, but it seems like, I don't know. I just feel like with clearances, they definitely brought that up. They didn't want to have to clear no samples. So I want to know. I want to know how they even got approvals from the producers who are also tied to this music. Are there royalties being paid to producers? Is this free? I don't know, man. I have so many questions. Did they have to make new songs every time they performed? I got questions for you, Cakes. You have to come on the show. Cakes already agreed to do the show. So now we're going to make it happen, yo. We just going to see what's up. My man 80K Sidewave, he's predicting that they eat in the publishing. Predicting it. You know what I mean? Hey, who knows? I want to know if they had to sign a 360 deal. Some of these shows require 360 deals. I can't remember which one it was. I don't know if it was I think it was Empire. 50 Cent had told one of the niggas, I think, who ended up playing Empire, not to join Empire, not to be on that show. I'm not talking about Empire Records, not the record label. I'm talking about Empire, the TV show. I remember seeing an interview where 50 Cent told one of the actors at Empire, he told one of his actors in Power not to sign with Empire, the show, and not to be a part of the show, take a 360 deal. Sorry I said that in such a weird ass way. I don't know why it was so difficult for that shit. But basically, Empire, the TV show, said, "Yo, if you're gonna be on this show, we're gonna 360 you." You know, I mean, I never agree with those type of deals. I think their reasoning is probably like, "Oh, we're gonna make you a star, so we want to have a benefit of everything that you know we help you do." That's a really fucked up way of doing business. No company works like that. That does not work like that in any other industry, right? If, as a museum, if we put an artist on, you can't just say, yo, we gave you your first solo show. Now that means every piece of art that you sell for the rest of your life, we deserve a cut of, right? Galleries can't do that. Museums can't do that. I mean, even if you work as a tech company, they can't say, yo, I gave you your first job as a programmer. So now, of course, you're going to put that on your resume and use that to get other programming jobs. Every job you get, we deserve a cut of that shit. So it's actually pretty disgusting that this happens, especially in the entertainment industry. So I get that. Fuck the 360 deals. I hope that that's not what's happening with the show, but I want to find out. And if they are giving out bum deals, then let's drop that. Let's bring that shit to light and let's talk about, you know, why people maybe accepted that and why people were willing to make that happen. And if not, then I want to know what the deal is. And if that's not happening, then, you know, that's pretty cool. Still makes them homophobic as fuck, but that'd be cool if they at least respect the artist and let them have their own agency. But I highly doubt it. I just feel, I have a strong feeling that, some of these people are getting some pretty strange deals. I feel like someone like Cakes probably could have avoided it because he's already popping. But some of these rap niggas, I just feel like they were heard on the show. Some of these niggas, it seemed like they were already taking advantage of their stories and presenting them in ways that they were like super struggle. And Cakes did a great job of not doing that. So also shouts out to him for putting on the venue Mood Ring. Mood Ring is a really dope venue out in New York that's you know a queer space. So they're doing dope shit. So the way Cakes brought it up and presented himself and made things happen, the fact that Cakes bought them to Mood Ring, bought the Netflix show to Mood Ring, that was something else that was super dope, yo. Like, he's already putting on for culture while these other niggas is actually making sob stories out themselves. Oh, I'm from Inglewood, California, or I'm from the hood, and I'm from the Bronx, from this poor ass neighborhood. I have to deal with gangs every time I walk out my house. I might get shot. I might get killed. Like, they're playing into all the dumb shit that they expect some rap nigga to say. They're playing into all the, I had to avoid being in a gang because my mom is in a gang, my dad's in a gang, everybody else in my family is shit except for me. Like, that tired ass old story where, you know, black families are toxic and I gotta rap my way out of this shit. Like, they already made everybody a joke like that. So it's pretty dope to see someone like Cakes the Killa actually be like, nah, I'm out here enjoying a drink, living artistically in a queer space. Shouts to 80K Sign Wave. He said rap was my only way out, head ass. That's facts, man. It's just like we're a little bit tired of that. So I think it was really cool that Cakes is already presenting himself as someone who is, you know, above that shit and who's presenting cultures in the intersection of cultures. So I'm all about that. We're all about that with Fauzi. So yeah, man, in my mind, he's already the winner. In my mind, Cakes already won this shit, man. So shouts out to him. Best of luck to you, Cakes. If you do something interesting on the show, I'm gonna cover it. Other than that, I don't give a fuck about this show. So fuck that show. You know what I'm saying? Fuck Rhythm and Flow, man. Fuck Rhythm and Flow until Cakes wins. Once Cake wins, We out here, man. I'm gonna get him on the show and we're gonna celebrate. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna pop up some bottles. We're gonna cheer him. We're gonna pop champagne. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna have a good time. And if he doesn't even make it to the finalists as a show on the show, if he's not the final winner, we still gonna celebrate him because he's the winner. He's nigga won. So whatever he's done, it's kind of better for us because we're gonna get him on the show sooner. So either Cakes is on the show sooner and we get to talk to him and we get to fucking laugh shit and talk about, you know, how dumb these niggas are, or he gets to win the show and we're going to celebrate his win in spite of the whole fucking stupidity in the game. I would say, you know, Cardi B did show Cake some love, and I think she either retweeted him and quoted the tweet and said like she's fucking with him or she loves him or something like that, and or maybe it was on Instagram. I don't know. It was on some social media channel. I did see that she showed him some love, acknowledged him and all that shit. So that's cool. I really don't think she means wrong. But just the way that it was presented, honestly, it just makes rap look bad. Like, it makes rap look bad. Like, I think she can save herself. T.I., you know, Fat Joe, Jadakiss, nobody expects them really to be more progressive than that. So I think all these people could save themselves, but it makes rap as a culture look bad. And that's also why I want to have Cakes on this show. Oh my God, yo! I love y'all niggas in Discord, man. Shouts out to Debbie Bourne, man. I just love y'all in Discord. I'm gonna try my best to do this. Debbie said Jadakiss lost points that night. Oh, my Jadakiss laugh that time was pretty fucking good. Yeah. All right, y'all. I gotta get the fuck out of here, son. Cause I just ended with the perfect Jadakiss laugh. I'm fucking done. So I want to slap this mic down like Dave Chappelle did when he dropped the water and was like, yo, yellow cake, smack. Like, I'm done. I'm out of this motherfucker, son. Shouts out to y'all, man. I love y'all, man. This is the Mark Digital Live Show. MarkDigitalHD. That's on Twitter. That's on Instagram. But to be honest, man, we ain't even fucking with social media no more. So join the fucking Discord. Cause now we're on Spotify. We're on fucking, YouTube. We're about to be on Apple Podcasts soon. Them niggas take forever though. Like forever. I hope that while y'all reviewing this shit, y'all come across me saying that it takes forever and just push my shit through. Just push this shit. Just send it through, man. I'm tired of this shit. Anyway, we're everywhere now. You know what I'm saying? The show's doing dope numbers. So we're getting off SoundCloud. I'm sorry, but y'all wasn't fucking with me being over there. To be honest, like, y'all would listen to it and y'all would complain, ask me to go somewhere else. So now we just gonna be everywhere else. So, but for right now, I'm really fucking with Team Spotify hard, just cause, yo, they let us pop. They saw the podcast, they heard it immediately, they let it through. Apple Podcast, I love you. I paid for Apple Music. I've been on here keeping for Apple Music, and now you're making me look bad. Now my family is like, yo, Mr. Apple Music, why are you not on Apple Podcast? Show me some love, y'all. Get my shit through. You know what I'm saying? And I hope the algorithm, I hope the bot that y'all got doesn't just scan my shit and just see that there are negative words associated too close to Apple Music and Apple Podcasts. So let me do this. Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, I love y'all. Please, 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 I'm begging you, push my shit through. That's for the bot. Shouts out to the Apple bot too. I love all y'all. Mad positivity. We gonna get through these algorithms, y'all. Anyway, fam, I love y'all. This whole show, all the shows are produced by Feltzine at FELTZINE. As we get more shows up, just feel free to type that shit in. And my Spotify users, y'all, Feltzine, listen to the playlist. The playlist is popping. Dev is updating that shit all the time, and we got fire ass music. We got and this is what I'm saying. Join the Discord. Because in the Discord, we got motherfuckers suggesting music and we got motherfuckers making music. So if you make music and you suggest music, then that shit goes on the playlist. And then it's this whole cycle where everybody's excited and showing each other mad love. So the playlist is hot. You know what I'm saying? Follow us. You know what I'm saying? So follow the podcast, right? Then add the playlist. We update that shit almost every day, right? Follow the podcast. Follow the playlist, and then go and also follow the Feltzine profile on Spotify. You got all these options. You know what I'm saying? And Apple, just imagine if I was saying, subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts too. We got this. We got this, y'all. We're doing numbers. Let's make it happen. I love y'all. Once again, that's Feltzine, Feltzine. You can find us everywhere, but you could also just find us wherever your content is at. We're on YouTube too. We got videos by John. John got videos on YouTube. He's on here talking about crypto, but he's also on our YouTube with the fire. And also, y'all, I'm not even gonna front. Like, I looked at our YouTube. We actually got a lot of subscribers. We've been trying for a while to be like, yo, like, we gotta get our subscribers up. We gotta get our subscribers up. We got a couple of hundreds on there. I was pretty hype about that. The YouTube is popping. And you know what I'm saying? John's videos are doing numbers and shit. Like, this is the thing. I'm going way too long now, but I'm just telling you, like, we have this vision where, we just want to make like mad media and all the fam is clicking. Everybody's making super dope shit and everybody's shit is getting like real healthy plays, real healthy numbers. Like we're making real cult fan bases in this motherfucker. We got mixes by people like LSD XOXO. That's what Dev just dropped in the Discord. You got to be on the Discord and you got to subscribe. We got crazy visuals. We got a lot of shit happening in here. You might get your next collab in there, man. Come on. All right. So anyway, fuck with us. This has been mad fun being here with y'all tonight. Like I said, like always, man, I love all y'all. Thank y'all for listening. We're just so y'all know, we're basically gonna be doing this like three nights a week now. The reason why I'm doing that is so I can make this shit super quality, super hype for y'all. We're gonna have we have people who are coming in who have actually worked professionally in radio for like over a decade out here in the Bay. We're going to be sitting down and just chatting with them about shit, about like underground cultures. I mean, these is like OGs who are like part of like the post-punk scene out here, part of like the math rock scene in the Bay. I'm telling you, we got some really interesting things happening. So I'm giving space, man. I got to write questions for these niggas. You know, like today was great, right? We talked about fucking Bitcoin. We talked about rhythm and flow. Y'all, as soon as I just get a little bit, just give me, I might have like one off day just to upload. That's the days I'm going to use to upload. Those are the days that I'm also going to be, you know, especially in the Discord, looking in the podcast section, looking in the crypto section, looking in all the sections just to see all these text channels, just to see what y'all are talking about. So that we can bring that shit to the podcast and we can talk about it as a community too. So, you know, we're going to make some ill shit happen and we're just going to just keep rolling with it. Join the conversation. For all my niggas who's already in the Discord, keep that shit popping. Y'all niggas be having me dying all day. I really love this shit. I can't even lie, y'all. Like before we started this shit, I was getting so bored with social media. I was tired of that shit. I was like, oh my God, like Instagram is the same shit. Fit pic, a dinner. Okay, this nigga's on vacation. That's nice. Twitter motherfuckers be going crazy all day. Twitter's funny again. I feel like Twitter's having a renaissance because people are so tired of being fake on Instagram and you know, you gotta be super fake on Facebook because your grandmother's on Facebook, right? So you're super fake on Facebook because your grandmother's on Facebook. Everything you post on Instagram now, you gotta worry about who's gonna see it, who's gonna judge you for it. Motherfuckers think you bragging just because you post some shit on the gram. So the gram's too political. So motherfuckers is now finding solace and fun in things like Twitter and in Discord. So that's where we're at, yo. Join our Discord, man. Just you know what I'm saying? Like, social media is unhealthy. You know what I'm saying? That's just unhealthy, man. Join us here and let's build some shit together. Let's build some shit they can't take away from us. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, like I said, I love y'all. I hope y'all have a good night. I'm having a good night. I look forward to hearing from y'all. Like I said, we're going to do this 3 days a week. I'm thinking, don't hold me to this, we might switch this up. This is all trial and error. But we're thinking about Tuesday, Thursday, and Sundays. Right? I think that sounds great. That sounds like, it seems like y'all are available these days. Y'all like listening live on these days. We'll see what happens. So, and if I get pushed back from that, then we'll switch it up. We can do anything. You want to know how we can do anything? Because we're independent. We're independent. Niggas can do whatever they want. Nobody fucking hauling us back. Nobody's telling us what the fuck. You know what I'm saying? So, here we go. Like I said, peace out. I love y'all. This is the Mark Digital Live podcast produced by Feltzine. And I will see you niggas soon, y'all. Peace.